Whew. Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom and I'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show, with ITFC aficionado David Diamond for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour of football conversation. Make your Monday a Blue Monday. Dave, I can't quite put my finger on it. Something feels different.
I don't know. Something is definitely different, Ben. I'm not sure what it is either.
To your hair?
Possibly. I don't know. I had a haircut.
I know what it is. My USB is plugging from the right-hand side, not the left-hand side.
What's happened? That's what's happened since last week.
That's what's kind of putting me off.
It's thrown us all off kilter, hasn't it? Just thrown us completely.
How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Ben. Yeah, you? Because you've been championing it up again, haven't you?
I did.
I can't even get the words out. So another 2-game weekend for you?
2-game weekend again next weekend as well, Dave. Yeah.
The big one next weekend, and I don't mean Ipswich Villa.
We'll do it in the roundup. Could all be pretty academic pretty soon, couldn't it? Bloody.
I think it might be.
Hey? Yeah. Warny. But there we go. Dave, we normally do the news, but for obvious reasons, which might twig why something feels different, why don't we do the Barnsley game first, and then we do the news. We do the news after that.
Right. Let me turn at least 2 pages to get to that then.
So we all showed up. Apparently, I took my car in for service, Dave, and you know, someone always knows someone. He reckoned 8,000 there against Barnsley, but although he probably exaggerates it every time he says it.
You told me that, didn't you? Some friend of a steward, wasn't it?
Friend of a friend of a steward.
Friend of a friend. Yeah. I thought you were going to actually say your car service cost you £8,000.
My car service cost me nothing, which is very surprising because I normally buy Banger's service plan. I was going to ask you, Dave.
Yes, mate.
Well, maybe we'll do it off air. If is anybody who listens into cars, because there's a sweet spot for when to trade your car in, isn't there? You know, you go a few thousand miles too many.
Are you thinking already?
No, I just want to know when the sweet spot's going to be.
I don't know. I'd have thought, because you clock up a few miles. How long have you had your car now? Have you had it a year yet?
Yeah, I've had it a year. This is not good podcasting, isn't it? I'm enjoying the conversation, but the listeners want to hear about Ipswich.
Just quick, let's get this out of the way. How many miles on it to date?
40,000.
Wow! That's a lot then. Sorry.
It's not a lot.
40,000. That's pretty.
I didn't have it from you.
That's David Brent mileage, mate.
Life on the road. Go. So we all turned up for Ipswich Barnsley as part of. We haven't mentioned him yet, have we? As part of the Ipswich Town managers' farewell tour. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun here. We had Kiefer Roberto, Francisco Moore. So, you know, we were hoping for some narrative, and I'm sure Kiefer was going to give us some that night. So the team, Dave. Bart in goal, 3 centre backs. What happened to Webster?
Hammy.
Okay, you
sound
like
Harry
Redknapp. Paolo's done a groin.
Paolo, he calls him Polo almost. Yeah, Polo done a groin, didn't he? Yeah, he did his hammy in training apparently. Or did his? Oh, shit, nearly.
You're allowed to mention him.
I know. Stop it. Go on.
And Chambers obviously is the only time I've heard the word sternum outside of WWE mentioned ever. They always
sternum gets a mention. Is that a common injury? A sternum injury in WWE?
What a blow to the sternum! Yeah, they do that a lot in WWE.
So he cracked a rib as well, didn't he? He did it good and proper.
He did it all, Dave. He did it all. Anyway, we want to get to the wing backs. Jesus. Carter Vickers, Knudsen, Spence in a kind of balanced but kind of reservy back three. Kenlock left wing back, who you're a fan of, and Dave at right wing back, Barry Cotter, which does sound like Harry Potter.
Which does sound a lot like Harry Potter. And I tell you what, for a short period in the first half, he played like Harry Potter. He was superb.
Right foot like a wand.
Right foot exactly like a wand. Bloody hell, what is a revelation?
Expecto Patronum, Skews and Connolly, centre midfield, and it was the Preston formation, Dave, the 3-4-3 type thing. Carriel started on the left and Selena started on the right. I made that they swapped every 15 minutes. So
no, they did. I didn't. Yeah, they did.
yeah,
They kept that.
Waggy up front. For Barnsley, Dave, bit of a shadow of that team that you liked that lost 4-2 to us first day of last
Yeah,
season.
they've offloaded a lot, haven't they?
Davies, Yeardham, Jackson, Lindsay, Friars, Potts, who you like, Dave, Gardner and Hamill, Isgrove,
Hamill I like as well. Yeah.
McBurney, who I'm sure you loved, who's a proper street footballer with his socks rolled
Love McBurney.
Good player,
Love
actually,
McBurney.
Dave.
So like Isgrove, but honestly, Isgrove, I think our mascot was taller than Isgrove. I didn't realise how short he was. He's tiny, isn't he? Bless him.
He is tiny. Should we do one name each of their focal point up front? It was Kiefer,
Sutherland,
Roberto,
Budley,
Francisco,
Moore.
Kiefer Moore up front, we thought was going to score, and after 3 minutes, Spence pulls down McBurney. In goes the free kick, up goes Moore. Davey hits the bar. We're thinking long night.
Thunders a header against the bar. I thought he was going to be a thorn in our side all night, and probably he was a bit in the air, but yeah. Go on.
You said, Dave, if this guy learns to use his physicality, which he hadn't learned, and he's obviously learned at Rotherham, he could easily play Championship. Barnsley are on top for the first quarter, and they have a great chance on 24. Potts with a give and go. You know when your defence is just kind of flat, stood still, and the other team's running straight through. He's through 1-on-1, should score there, Dave. Left foot, side netting. Bart comes out, but
he should score there. Yeah, it was good slick. Do you know what? I thought Barnsley played I thought they were quite neat and tidy.
Yeah, they
certainly didn't. All right, they had more up front, but they certainly didn't resort to lumping by any means, did they?
The plan was quite clear, wasn't it? And they did cross it early, but they did try and get the other guy round the other side.
Yeah.
Up to support him, so it wasn't like just booting it up to him.
Not at all.
Goal kick up to Carriel. This is a great move, Dave. Early to Waghorn, one touch. Waghorn plays the perfect ball to Selena. And Dave, in your most floral language, can you describe Selena's finish?
Crap. I mean, he just snatched at it, and he just didn't look. He didn't set himself. I mean, what a goal that would have been. It's a hell of a touch from Carriel. Great awareness from Waghorn. He just didn't look confident, did he? It was like, he needed to keep it low, and he just.
And if he'd had two defenders around him and half a second, he'd have probably scored that, wouldn't he?
Probably. Yeah,
but
that was a great move. It's a shame because that'd been a lovely goal.
Lovely goal, Simonson. Lovely goal, Alan Simonson. Break down the left. Carriel low cross beats everyone. Cotter's arriving, Dave, right in front of you down there. He's confident. Doesn't
he did. He had a good old go. Yeah.
How much did that miss by?
A foot. Yeah, it was a good hit. A lot of power. Great pace from Carriel. Was it ridiculous pace?
We'll talk about him in reference to some chats I had with some Forest fans. Last action, Hamill, lovely nutmeg on Skews. Skews, rare one, him getting caught out.
I like Hamill. Always did.
Cuts inside, shot gets blocked. Fairly even first half. Great chance for Potts. Great chance for Selena.
Yep, I think so. I think that was about right. Probably about about a draw. Fair enough at half time. Like I said, I thought Barnsley were quite good.
McBurney on 48 gets wrong side of Cotter, cuts inside, curls it. Good effort. Unlucky. Moore heads over from a corner. Although the thing I didn't understand was his starting positions, because it was like he was kind of winning every header, and you felt if he just got in closer to because he never managed to get a run on Carter Vickers, did he?
No, he didn't. A couple of times he was really getting some good, obviously as you would, winning some good balls in the air and really putting them into good spaces as well. But jury's out still a little bit on him, but you can see I certainly saw the other night that he'd improved his physicality. But I mean, Carter Vickers is just a ox. He's just strong, isn't he? Crikey.
Davies has a little bit of a flappy flap and kind of falls over the goal line, and he's a little bit grumpy, Dave. And is he fully focused as Carriel comes up to take the following corner on 53 minutes?
I don't think he is. And I'm, in hindsight, the initial corner, I thought, is that good a corner? Yeah, it was another one of those, dare I say it, Waghorn type corner. No, yeah, he sort of drives it in. Whether it was I can't say that either. Pre-planned, I don't know.
Off the cuff, Dave.
We'll come to this on yesterday's game, actually. And a great run, you've got to say. So he drives one into the sort of edge of the 6-yard box. A really good run across from Knudsen. Great finish, gets his head on it, uses the pace of the corner. 2 defenders around him. He just got the run on the defenders. Simple as, really. Good finish. Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
substitutes board comes up.
Yeah.
And young debutant Barry Cotter, who's 19.
Yep.
And presumably tired and presumably a bit
Look,
emotional.
it was typical. He makes a substitution, and he's not going to make the substitution for the sake of making it just to pee the fans off. He's not, he makes a substitution. I don't know about where you were, but certainly around me there were people saying, "Whoa, typical Mick, let him, God, he's been our best player, revelation. We love to see this young player coming through. You think at least give him 70 minutes or something." But if he's goosed, as he would say, then fine, he's gone, But I don't know. Perhaps he could have left it another 10 minutes or so. But look, he made a decision. That's it.
So my recollection of it, pretty similar to yours, is that there was a bit of a groan.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a small. I think this is the one that got Mick's goat. There was a Mick McCarthy, what a wanker chant.
Yeah. Yeah, and then where I was, it all dispersed and standing ovation
turned into
for the lad. It was honestly, Ben, great, wasn't it? Absolutely great.
But if I can say, my emotion was just disappointment, because I thought it was nothing against Mick.
Was he enjoying it? Enjoying watching him play?
I was enjoying watching him play. It was something new. It was a guy who was prepared to, be a bit flamboyant and.
I mean, I saw it all obviously right in front of me. First half, he's confident, he's quick, step over. He had everything, Well, I mean, and you got to say on the face of what was he 70,000 or something from Limerick, I believe. What a great signing, and potentially.
On Instagram, he's taken a picture of himself in his suit before the game.
Loved it, didn't he?
He's running away. I was just enjoying someone living out their dream.
And he said it was. I think perhaps the crowd's judgment, and certainly I was with Jordan, and Jordan said, he said, well, he looked all right. If you looked when the goal went in, he was one of the covering defenders who was left behind, and he must have sprinted 50 yards to join in the celebration.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, he did.
So anyway, this is the now infamous substitution,
but I think we should say from a positive point of view, look, clearly a young player with a lot of promise there,
and it just makes it clear how bored Ipswich fans are that you just get one guy comes in with a bit of
they just snatch hold of it,
flamboyance, and we're all excited up for it. I could have done a really good gag there. The substitution that shook the world, because Hedges came on for Isgrove at exactly the same time. I could have gone for that one. There you go. Waghorn corner. Carter Vickers is arriving, can't control the volley. Pretty good chances. It always happens. This often happens, Dave. You go 1-0 up and you get another chance straight after, and people don't figure it's a bad miss because you've just scored. But Falami comes in for Carriel on 59. You're a fan of Falami, Dave. Bradshaw in for Hamill on 63. Great breakout here. Waghorn to Selina, and this time it's Ward with a real shank of a finish, and another good chance. Similar to the first half.
I thought Ward did really well when he came on, though, didn't he? He's really, perhaps the defenders were tiring a bit, and he was certainly Friars. He was just taking it well. Were you in the Cobbold?
Yeah.
He was taking him off for fun, wasn't he?
Yeah. So Ward goes down the right, beats Friars, gets the ball in. Selina has 2 goes at it. He just doesn't have the. Do you remember? Was it Preston or Sunderland where he's taking them first time and smashing them in?
Yeah.
Just doesn't have the confidence.
No.
Free kick wide left for Barnsley, swung in. Moore wins it again, heads it over. And at this point, Dave, Ipswich go 4-4-2, and Ward actually is playing as an out-and-out right winger, because when he came on, he comes on as a wing back, and we'll save it till after the Barnsley game to discuss Ward. But I thought it was great. Down the right again, exact replica of Waghorn at Sheffield Wednesday, Dave, where he receives the ball right at the top of his jump and he just heads it over this time.
Yeah, very similar to Hughes' putback.
Friars apparently has cramp at this point and signals to be taken off. Do we believe that, Dave?
I think there's 4 letters that make up that word that sums him up, to be fair.
Mallon comes in for Friars, who's getting skinned. All ends up here. Waghorn tries his regular 40-yard volley. I'm mentioning it every time he does it, Dave.
Oh, he's saving one for.
He did another one at Forest as well. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Saving one, Borough.
Nice play. Selina Waghorn, Selina Falami. Selina feeds Waghorn and he blasts it over uncharacteristically from him. And and then just one chance for Barnsley at the end. Dave, long throw, tossed in. Moore takes his time actually. He could slash at it. He comes inside and curls it, and Kenlock's got his arms behind his back and just chests it away. So obviously we now know what's coming. So do you want to just talk a little bit about the game, and then we'll talk about what happened annoyingly I was making my post-match video.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that. I thought it was a good game, didn't you? For one, it's a fairly tight game,
Enjoyed
1-0.
myself, yeah.
Barnsley came to play. I like that a lot. I always like certain players in there too. I like that McBurney. I just like I like him. He's the sort of player like Marmite.
Yeah?
A bit Marmite, isn't he? Marmite, really.
Did you think he's like Claridge, or am I just looking at the socks?
I think it's the socks, isn't it?
But
he looks
quicker than Claridge, isn't he?
Yeah. And I like Hamill. I know Hamill got subbed, but I've always liked Hamill. And I thought on the night for us, both when he was on, Cotter did really well. I thought Kenlock got down the left quite well too. Carry also. I thought on the night Waghorn was superb on the night.
100%
really
good,
wasn't he? Really,
and we were talking about setting standards on the pitch in a legitimate way.
Good.
I loved the personality that he played with.
Yeah, no, he was super. And again, Carter Vickers, you've got to say, he's a player, and he's so strong. I think probably with Carter Vickers, perhaps distribution, perhaps is a thing they'd work on. But obviously, you think with Tottenham that will come. But yeah, great player. But no, I thought I'd give probably our man of the match on the night to Waghorn. I thought. If not Cotter.
Are we overhyping Cotter just because we're bored? How was he?
Yeah, of course. Oh, he's very, very good. I mean, obviously, I think there was second half. There was a couple of iffy. Again, you'd have seen this. He was only on for 10 minutes, but second half, I think it was a couple of iffy touches, and maybe that's what Mick was seeing. So okay, maybe he's tiring a bit. Legs have gone a bit, and he, in hindsight, he's probably right. But no, a lot of promise there. No, just good. Yeah, came away with a pretty good feeling. I must say that I thought maybe because there was one or two people more around me than was even at the Easter Monday game when there was slightly more there. I thought when they said 13,000, I thought okay, perhaps there is, but
250 Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys there. So.
Yeah, I thought I've seen worse.
Right, how the hell do we unpack this? So Mick goes to before he does I Follow, he goes to Stuart and Phil and Mel Henderson to do the post-match. So
is that when he goes?
Yeah.
He goes at the post-match at the Stuart Watson Phil that one.
Yeah. Okay. So he finishes saying what he's saying.
Yep.
Mel Henderson, a little bit. I understand why he has to do it. A little bit creepy, saying, "Oh, fans as usual, showing their level of understanding about that. Not understand as in they don't get it, but as in they were. It was careless. And he finishes the press conference by saying, "But that's it. I won't have to hear it again. This will be my last game. I'm out of here."
Yeah, he basically
complete. May I say before you come, Dave? Complete Hollywood.
Posture. Gives it some of that.
Yep.
Coffee cup goes. I mean, I think he went on to say it was about Cotter, wasn't it? He said, I thought it was just a disgrace. I said, disgraceful reaction. Won't have to listen to that again.
Interview, yeah?
Yeah, disgraceful reaction. But I won't have to listen again to that because that's my first game, and I'm out of here. Typical me.
Right, let's unpack this, Dave. So first of all, talk to me about the timing. As in, we've just gone 12th and we've just won. Talk to me about the because this is pure theatre, isn't it?
It is. I think the timing, Ben, reading between the lines and what we know now.
Sorry, Dave. One more thing. I'm so sorry to interrupt. We were just mathematically safe as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. I didn't even appreciate that. Okay.
I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, okay. I think it wasn't the other night so much. It was, if we understand, it was the Brentford game, and he got no end of stick. And from what I understand, he was even escorted to the coach afterwards. Is that from what I read?
I didn't see it, but I've heard that.
Yeah. I heard that he got no end of grief, and there was certain stuff that you read on Twitter and on the forum that, I mean, if it's true, that was chanted, it's just completely It's wrong.
Good.
It's wrong. Good, yeah. It's totally wrong. And I think, I think that was, a good old cliche, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. And I think whether the owner approached him or whether he approached the owner and said, look, that's it, I don't need this, I don't need to take it. And maybe it was the fact of the owner saying, well, okay, look, it's Sunday or Saturday, whenever it was.
It was Sunday, conversation. Yeah.
Look, Barnsley's 2 days away. Can you see us through that? And then, and then we'll call it a day. So that's my take on it. And if that's right, yeah, you can understand. And I can sort of, he made a very good point last week. He said, well, someone, Stuart Watson or someone else said, well, how is it, or Brenner even, how's it going? He said, well, he spoke about the driver and the driverless car thing. And then he said, well, actually, I'm almost caretaker in my own job. And then and we all said right at the very start, it's just a weird, bizarre situation. And, this should have been dealt with, what was it, Good Friday, the Thursday before Good Friday. That's when he should have gone. When it was announced, he should have gone then. But again, maybe time and Easter, games over Easter, so maybe not. Yeah. I mean, I think it's for the, it's for the better of the club. It would have just festered for the last 4 games, and even more bad feeling. And then again, they're trying to sell season tickets, Ben. It just got worse for the point.
So the way it's transpired, neither Mick nor the fans could cope with this
each other,
each other or this situation. But no. Dave, why? I'm kind of answering your question. I know the answer to, but why this throwing the club under the bus? Why he knew the reaction, and we'll talk about the national media for the rest of the week in a minute. But there would have been a dignified way to go, but he seemed very, very intent on brand Mick McCarthy, and
that's the man, isn't it? And that's him. That's
poor,
the man.
Dave, that's poor. That's poor, isn't it?
But we know what he's, Ben. We know what he's like. He's a so what? He is a stubborn Yorkshireman. That's him. That's the way. That's perhaps always the way it was. That's always the way it was going to go, and how it was always going to end.
And well, let's talk about the reaction then from the media after. And a lot of people had said how terrible he is at PR when it comes to his own supporters, and he even mentioned it himself, how good he is at PR. And the national media just completely worked them like an absolute charm, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I mean, look at people like, all right, he's a complete, we all know what he is, but, look at Chris Sutton's reaction and people like that. And he wasn't alone. All right, he went perhaps, Chris Sutton maybe went a little bit over the top and said, what did he say? Oh, Ipswich fans are deluded. Well, okay. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Go for your ratings, Chris. Go for your retweets.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, one of the best I saw, is it the Guardian or the Telegraph? Barry Glendenning. Which one is he? I'm sure he's Guardian.
That was one of the better ones I saw, and that's still got a lot of ire from Ipswich fans.
He was very good. He put it across very well. Yes, he said about Mick's position, and perhaps he should have. He alluded to the fact that perhaps the fans could have treated him with a little bit more respect, and in that sort of ilk. But then again, he did acknowledge that, well, us from the outside haven't witnessed the last 2.5, 3 seasons of it. It was never going to end well, that this whole scenario
of badly, Dave, that badly. With did you feel as an Ipswich fan that the whole? I mean, I know it doesn't matter because it's tomorrow's chip paper or whatever. I felt as an Ipswich fan that the whole of the footballing world thought I was an idiot.
No, absolutely right.
And I don't like that he orchestrated that, because he could have either poured water on that, or he could have used that,
Ben,
to his own end.
I'm cross about right that, the way Dave. Through. We've been speaking about this for weeks. That was down to the owner. The owner should have said, when they came to this agreement, and prior to what was the first game, the Birmingham game, whatever the game it was, prior to that game, what was the first? No, Millwall, wasn't it?
Yeah, Birmingham.
Oh, it was Birmingham. Yeah. Sorry, Easter Saturday. The owner should have said, right, that's it, gone, that's it, you're out of here. Thanks. Then, now's time, 6 games to go. We've got to move on. He shouldn't have been allowed to stay. That shouldn't have been the way. It never would have been the way. And I know we harp back, and we shouldn't keep harping back, but that never would have been the way. Unhappy manager, discontent, total disconnection from the fans. He's gone out of there. He should have been. Hasn't ended well. Oh, hasn't ended well.
Dave, he's buried us.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. But don't you think the owner should have seen that?
Perhaps, but if you're a quote upstanding, honest Yorkshireman, that doesn't. I mean, look, I respect Mick. He's obviously a very successful man.
Yeah, he dropped out there.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm back. Sorry. Yeah. No, I was just saying. I respect him, and I don't want to sound churlish, but should we just call that there? No.
Honestly,
no more
Ben,
Mick.
we've spoken about it. What was interesting? Did you see the tweet from Daniel Hill and GB that stumbled on Mick's leaving doing the dove?
Wow. So.
Wowzers.
So this is GB, and we all know GB likes a drink, but this is a reliable source. And the quote is.
And we can quote it. Go on, yeah.
Have you got it?
I mean, I think the quote I think you're going to say is, I think someone, we won't say who it was, well, said, oh, good luck, Mick. Thanks for all you've done. Good luck when the time is right. And he said, yeah, good luck with no manager and no money. Probably with an expletive thrown in, I guess.
And that's GB, and that is a reliable.
No.
That's
it wasn't GB. It was Daniel. Daniel, we know well as well. So yeah,
reliable source. They're not gonna.
Yeah,
they're not.
Might have been on his 12th pint, to be honest, but no. No, he wouldn't have been. No, honestly. That just sums it all up for me, really. Let's. I think you're right. Draw a line under it. Move on.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say we're not being churlish or childish. We do have respect for Mick, and we do have gratitude for what he did. But this is boring now, and I want to move on.
It is boring. It's just the last word, and you can totally understand anybody outside the club, non-Ipswich fans, football supporters following other Championship clubs, which you speak to them week in, week out, and I bet how many percentage of them in those sort of post-match, pre-match reviews you've done and said, and I know you said it to me.
Yeah.
We love Mick McCarthy. And I'm sure you could say, well, I won't say that phrase, but I'm sure you could say, are you sure? But look,
I think the contention.
And look, we love Mick McCarthy for 2.5 seasons.
I think the contention from most Ipswich fans is a simple analogy. I know nothing about golf. You know lots about golf. I don't tell you about golf. I ask you about golf, and you tell me, and then I understand that I have, and I do empathise with pundits because there's been positions, and I said this in the pub yesterday. As a musician, I'm rubbish at jazz, yeah, and sometimes I get paid to do jazz, and I blag it, yeah, and I take the money, and I think a lot of pundits don't know the first thing about it, and they think, oh, well, I want my payday here, I want my wage. I'm just gonna say all I know.
Isn't jazz just the old thing? It's all the right notes, just in the wrong places.
Is that a Dudley Moore or a Kiefer Moore, that one? So look, we're not being childish, but we're going to stop talking about Mick there. And the subject I put out was all about the Barnsley game and trying to be positive there. Dave, first of all, before we go on to Brian Klug, did you kudos to Graham again for securing Ian Milne on the National Football Show?
Fantastic, Graham. Yeah, and Adi from the Dove.
Did you learn? Our view of Milne has always been this guy's a great talker, superb, but I don't want to say politician in a negative way. But if I wanted a spokesman, I'd hire him.
Yeah.
Did you just
PR.
mouth?
Sorry, don't know what.
Nothing. I thought you mouthed a certain word about him then, but
no, I didn't. Absolutely not. Don't put words into my mouth.
Did he come across well? What was your view on typical?
Right, he came across exactly like I've met him several times. He came across like he always does. A great PR man, isn't he? Great PR man. Brilliant.
Yes.
Just don't get him. Just don't ask him about football. And he'll admit. To be fair to him, he'll admit that.
He'd be a good podcaster, wouldn't he? Great talker. And, yeah.
Let's get him on.
I don't want to tread on GB's.
No, honestly, Ben, he's that's why he's there. He's his face. He's his spokesman for the club. And he'll admit himself he knows nothing about football. That's great. And great that we saw him in the pub before Bristol. He does put him. You have to say, and we've said this before, he does put himself out there. He's the guy that, in the pub who, well, Christ, Statman accosted everyone. Everyone did. You got to admire the guy for that. You must do. And going on Graham's pod, you got to admire the guy for that. If you don't like what he has to say, don't listen. Fair play. But I'm still waiting. I mean, sorry, just to go back on that bit, him going on Graham's pod. Have you heard any more about the supposed owners interview on iFollow? Or?
Only what Milne said by the end of the month.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know what date we are now, Dave, but it's only a couple of weeks till the end of the month.
Yeah, we're halfway through. Is it 15th tomorrow? 15th today, yeah, so halfway through. Well, that will be something to, no doubt, that will be something of interest. Crikey, that might even be a podcast on its own, that one.
There you go, Dave. What will be more scripted, Mick's walkout or Evan's interview? There you go. Dave, smarten us all up. On Wednesday, very quickly, Brian Klug was put in charge as caretaker manager. Who is Brian Klug? Give us a skinny.
Ex-Ipswich youth player, joined Town around about 77, 78, the cup winning year. I think he's about 50, 57.
He worked with Robson?
He did work as a youth player. He certainly was at the club with Robson. Played no first team games at all. Just did not break through at all. Left in 1983 at a brief loan, I think, at Wimbledon. Played some games for Chesterfield and Peterborough, and then I think he must have picked up an injury because he started coaching, back at Portman Road and started playing local football. I actually saw Brian Klug play for Sudbury Town in the FA Vase final against Tamworth at Wembley in like 1989. That's when I was playing a local football, and I think they're still, I think to this day, the biggest ever FA Vase attendance. It was like 30,000 there. Coaches went from Ipswich, and he actually set up the goal for another ex-Ipswich player, a guy called David Hubbick, actually. Then he became head. Then he obviously then involved very much on the coaching side. Became head of the Newtown Academy, and I forgot, he had two very brief caretaker spells in 2002 and later in 2009. I think it was for a matter of days. I don't think he was in charge for any games. And then under Mr. Keane, he left in 2009-10 to be assistant academy manager and head of player development at Spurs, for Christ's sake.
Keane, Keane fired him?
Yes, well, effectively he left the club virtually when Keane joined, so look, read into that, yeah. But then obviously Keane left and returned to Town, which was probably one of our best signings in recent years in 2012 June, so prior to Mick coming.
So would he have been with David Pleat at Tottenham then?
I assume he would have been, yeah. I mean, who would have been at Spurs? And I suppose still Levy, I guess, would have got him in, but Pleat, I suppose. And he came back to again to head up the academy in June 2012, and I think we can already see some of that starting to bear fruit, I would say, Ben. And his assistants are interesting as well. Gerard Nash and Chris Hogg, again both ex-Town players. Gerard Nash played a handful of games. Again, two bad cruciate knee injuries, which I think is quite a nice story. I think the club sort of stood by him. Put him through his coaching, and I think his initial job, I think he was assistant to Mark Kennedy, I think, with the under-23s until he got the job. And Chris Hogg, very highly rated. I remember when we signed him. Again, he didn't quite make the grade at Portman Road. Went away, I think, to York. I think maybe Hibs. And then again,
we got him from York, didn't we?
I think we got him from York. You're right. I think he went to Hibs or something like that. So I'm sure he was in Scotland. Came back, was playing local football, I think, for Needham Market. Could have been maybe before Westlake, but has been on the staff at the academy for the last sort of 3 or 4 seasons. So again, very, very highly rated as a coach. So yeah, love that. Absolutely love that. I mean, and the one thing that did come out that really amazed me and sort of fairly shocked me, really. I don't know if you picked up on this, where Klug said in his first interview one of his first interviews that the situation the club he's noticed has even had a negative effect on the academy recruitment.
Yeah, staggering. I did. Yeah, that's not
staggering.
What? So parents aren't wanting their
exactly. Yeah. Whether that be, I don't know, perhaps just the general. They parents can sense. In the general world of football, the discontent. At the club. Certainly not the style of football, because we've all seen how the academy play with that ridiculous goal a couple of seasons ago, with the under 14s. And another, as you said, he's Ipswich, another one of these players, that come from away. I think he was maybe again from Cumbria, from somewhere from up that way originally. Lived in Ipswich for 40 years and know what the club means to the fans. Brilliant.
So a lot of boxes there ticked in terms of appeasing fans. And the pedigree, the links, the fact he worked with Robson. But Dave, when you hear him speak, not confrontational, calm. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's not. He's because he hasn't been in that grind me down or whatever. That hard grind. This the manager. He's 57. He's never had that hard grind as a toughened, gnarly manager, has he? He's only 2 years younger than Mick.
The complete antithesis of the previous.
Absolutely right. Guy. Yeah. And also, he's already come out and said, look, not kid anybody. I don't want this job. This isn't the circumstance. Of course, it's an honour to do the job for the last 4 games, but under no circumstances, yes, I'll do my best for the club. Under no circumstances do I want to be the manager of this football club. Absolutely fair enough. And you would hope that anyone coming in, dependent, you'd think they would have their own team, but would obviously you'd hope they wouldn't mess with anyone like him and also Nash and Hogg, who seem to be doing a good job. Something else I picked up on as well, Ben, but perhaps we spoke about Luke Chambers, and I noticed yesterday Luke Chambers was on the bench.
Do you know, I was back, I couldn't see, I was looking out for him. I wondered.
I think he was.
Oh, good.
I think he was.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Great, and you were there just before we get to yesterday. You were there yesterday. Good turnout from fans as usual.
So.
Yeah.
Not like a packed
away, Brentford or a Fulham.
Away end. Yeah. But a discernibly different vibe.
Yeah.
You want to know what kind
of
vibe I'm laying down?
Brilliant.
So away we go to the City ground then. Dave, you'd love it. They play like a montage of history, which is mostly Brian Clough before the teams come out. So you're sitting there thinking, how great is Brian Clough? There you go.
Well, we love that. We love that thing. We went to the premiere at the cinema, didn't we? It's just brilliant, wasn't it? Was it Miracle? I believe.
Which is going to be surpassed by the Sir Bobby movie coming up end of May. Yeah. So Forest pretty much keep the same side. He's coming
in. Quickly, Ben, can I just say, just very, very quickly, and I'm sorry, I know we're going to whiz through. Can we just mention 3 goals from the midweek roundup very quickly? And I'd just like you, if you've seen it, put them in any order. Mm-hmm.
Neves volley, terrible first touch.
Okay. Evans for Sheffield United.
Love it. Unique. Yeah, never seen a goal like that before.
Wow, they were.
Dave, I'll go. Grealish, you're gonna, we'll do it in the Villa preview. You're gonna enjoy watching Grealish, yeah. He is.
I just had to mention those guys. Yeah. I mean, I've put 1, 2, 3, and you said terrible first time. I put Neves. It just defied physics.
If you ask Neves, to describe it, he'd probably say, "Oh well, I was trying to control it, and I got a pretty crap touch, so I thought, I'll have a shot here."
Evans' side foot was ridiculous. I'll put that second. I'll put Grealish third. Great technique. But anyway, sorry, Ben. Go on. I had to mention those. Brilliant.
So we're going to Forest. Forest sitting with a 4-3-3. They have not scored for 6 games. Pantilimon in goal. Osborne, who you like, Dave, but he's playing left back. Jeriqua, the other full back. Fox and Figueiredo, the centre backs. Colback, once of this parish, sitting in front. Gideora and Watson. Lolly off one side, Tumlin off the other, Brereton up front. So here's Klug's team, Dave. Bart in goal. So the same back 3, Spence, Carter, Vickers, Knudsen. Ward starts at right wing back. We'll discuss him at the end, good and bad. Kenlock, left wing back, 2 games in a row. Skews, Nydam and Hyam in centre midfield, noticeably, Dave, in a row, not one of them sitting in a row. Waghorn and Ben Morris, not Sears, not Falani.
Debut.
Ben Morris, debut. Complete aberration by Ward on 10. He squares it to Spence. Passes it straight past him. Now, Spence is very sensible here, because if he takes Osborne out, that's red card, penalty,
he's gone.
Bye. He lets him go. And as I said in my post-match, Alex Ferguson says, don't take him down. Trust your goalkeeper. and Bart makes the save.
It helps. It helps if you've got someone like Bart, I suppose, behind you, doesn't it?
Or Peter Schmeichel, probably, yeah.
Oh, good point. The starfish.
Watson feeds through for Lolly. He gets it out of his feet. He hits the right footer, Dave, and Bart's like, that's going in the corner. And then really stretches out. And good save, yeah, good player, very good player. Carter Vickers and Ward getting a bit of a muddle. They lead Brereton into each other. He cuts inside. This is a easier save for Bart, but it's a good shot by Brereton. Good parry, and he gets the right parry. And then weirdly, they leave Watson from the corner on the back post, and he heads it to the side netting. So Forest didn't play through Ipswich, but they had those, particularly the Osborne chance. But that was just Ward and Spence getting in a muddle. And then with really their first decent effort, Dave, on 37 minutes, Ipswich take the lead, my friend.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Was it an initial corner not properly cleared? Was it? Did it?
No, it was. What did lead up to the throw-in?
No, it was a throw. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, no,
yeah, it
okay.
Depends where you're picking it up, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I put initial corner, so it's a throw, not properly cleared. Knudsen wide left plays it to Kenlock, who sort of seems a bit hurried. He sort of crosses quite hurried. He's closed down quite quickly, and in the end, his crosses quality because he's got a lot of pace on it. And I've put Chambers brackets Sheffield Wednesday away last year because it almost seemed, didn't it? It was one of those. It sort of almost takes him unawares, Ward, but he controls the header. He's quite
Dave,
close.
I think it's more there, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, I think it looks like
up on that. Ooh.
Sort of the right pep or shoulder. Up on that.
Yeah. But look, had enough on it to beat Pantilimon. Could have keeper done better? Probably not. He was quite close in.
No,
quite close in.
I agree.
So yeah, great. Ward up from right wing back. Yep, does the job.
Kenlock assist, and I know those fans of the other guy who used to manage us will say, well, we did see against Forest in the other game, one fullback crossed to the other fullback and I offer score. But Morris and Waghorn were both in there. Ward was in from behind. There was a centre midfielder, and they did flood the box, and it,
yeah, they did, and to be fair to Klug, he said afterwards, he said about, I think Brenner was saying about, Kenlock start, and he said, well, yeah, he really hasn't had that continuity of games, so, I wanted to start him at left back, so great,
I'm
left wing back.
Excited to talk about him, actually. Watson, free from the corner, skies the volley. Half chance at the end of the half. Waghorn gets into the box, takes it right in. He lofts it over. Ideally, it would have been him in the box, but he was the one crossing it. Nyden puts the cross back over and it lands on the top of the bar. Ipswich were a little bit fortunate to be in the lead, but they were in the game, but noticeably, Dave, the style was very different, very, very, very different.
In what way? Just what, more control? Just more passing, not passing for the sake of it, but just
much slower.
Right.
As in, when the right centre back or the left centre back gets the ball and it's either going to go in the channel or up to Garner or Murphy or whoever. Yeah. That wasn't happening so much. I found that Skews didn't seem to be. It took him, of all the people who looked affected by it, I thought he did a little bit more, because it was like they were saying to him, no, this isn't going to be hair and scarum with you tidying everything up. You're going to make the play. And in that style, Skews actually looks a bit, what's the word you lose? Languid. He looks
languid.
Because
how did Nyden fit in? Because I'd listened to Klug afterwards. Klug said, yeah, he's a good player. Don't forget he can still play for the youth team. But he felt that perhaps that was his best game because he was able to play with more freedom.
100% agree. And the difference between in Brentford, where he's like, right, you're in front of Skews and Hyam and you're leading the press. Rigid. That's your job, Whereas all three of them were, it was like, well, hold your position, defend as a three, not any one of you, and use the ball and pass the ball. And it was noticeably slower. I have to say that. But
Ben, one other observation, which I know someone has subsequently made on Twitter, was that look, we've gone into it with only one, with only one lone player, which is Carter Vickers. Which, let's face it, we haven't got anyone else to play. We haven't got anyone else to play there.
There's been a lot of good points made on Twitter, and another one was with with reference to I think it was Richard actually, from Richard of our parish, with reference to Wolves and these other clubs being relegated after McCarthy leaves, don't try and change stuff too soon, too quickly, because I think the situations there where Mick has a very, very, very specific way of playing, doesn't he, with clearance, and I think maybe that was what Skews was a little bit. I'm not saying play badly, but he looked a little bit. Let's see.
I think overall, I think Skews has had a good season when he's hasn't he?
I think he's been a lot better than he was last season. I think he
was tarnished by Dougie, wasn't he?
Yes. This is going to be frustrating reading this second half because we should have gone 2-0 up.
Oh no.
Ward goes down the right, 18 seconds in. Nydam's right up in the box. Ward puts a great cross in, and Nydam gets a really good contact on it. And it's blocked out. It's a great free kick between Waghorn and Hyam, Dave. What about this
take?
What about that first touch? Just completely.
Wow. But unfortunately, it wasn't one thing or the other, because I think had he not been quite so deliberate, Morris probably would have got in on the back post there.
Yeah, he just puts it wide, doesn't he? But great play by Hyam. Waghorn's corner helped on by Spence. Carter Vickers, he's like on the goal line, and the defender just gets a leg and flies up in the air.
Very excited about that one.
Ipswich forced 4 corners in the space of like 2 minutes. They're well on top. Carroll comes in for Morris on 55, ironically, the same minute that Barry Cotter went off on Tuesday. Connolly comes in for Nydam.
Sorry, Ben, thoughts on Morris?
He didn't do anything, but I'm totally behind him. I'm totally behind him playing him, being given a chance. Waghorn was trying his best to tutor him through. When he did get the ball, he tried to use it well, but the game did. And please, no one listening or watching think I'm having a pop at Morris.
Game passed him by a bit.
It didn't pass him by. It kind of happened around him. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where
Klug said much the same. I heard him in his interview say, he said, "Look, he worked hard. He did what he was the first line of defence. Really, he did what I asked him to do, and he's got a taste, and he's got a taste for it now."
But as you and GB always say, how can a player develop without any any minutes? So
absolutely.
So I am behind.
That's great. Good.
He was very quiet. So Cash comes in for Gediora, and Forest go to a 4-2-3-1, which is going to suit them a lot better.
But again, at this stage, Ben, not really threatening at all, are they?
No. Deep cross back post. Ward loses Osborne. This is the first sign of Ward's concentration starting to wane, Dave, on 60. Heads down and wide. Dave, you'd have been pissed off with this one. Carriol breaks out there. 2-on-2. Waghorn pulls off, and it's just such an under-hit pass by Carriol. Waghorn's in, and he probably could have shifted it onto his left foot as well. And, poor pass by Carriol at the vital moment. Watson stands 1 up for Cash. Bart claims it. Great throw by Bart, right down the middle of the ground. Carriol feeds Waghorn, who tries to chip a 6'7" goalkeeper.
Yes. Go on, Waggy.
Yeah. But hey, I can't come on here and ask for flamboyance week after week and then complain when our best player tries to do our best outfield player tries to do a chip. Great breakout by Lolly. Ward takes him out and it gets pulled back. Tomlin puts the free kick over. Martin Waghorn on 74 minutes tries a 40-yard volley, Dave. Here's the substitution that changed it all, though. Velios comes in for Tomlin. He's tall and got presence. Brigcutt comes in, who's got pace. And into centre midfield.
Forest have got a good squad, haven't they? I mean, look at the players. Look at the players they've got.
So they go 4-4-2.
Yeah, and forgot about Brigcutt. Great
and player. They've got 2 big guys up front. Dave, you'd have loved this. Kenlock does his man. It does a little, I can't describe the manoeuvre on him. Gets past, and you think, oh, Kenlock, you're puffing. Just load it into the box. And he plays a reverse ball inside rather than just loading it into the box. Superb play from Kenlock. Feeds Carriol. Carriol can beat the man. Left footer just wide again. And this is 78 minutes and still 1-0 up.
Game over. Yeah.
5th chance we've missed. Velios flicks on the long ball. Brereton's in behind. He's naughty, Dave. He's a bad boy. It's bouncing. Bart, brilliant, just stands up. Brereton knocks it past him and dives and takes a yellow card for that. Well done, Bart there. Lolly curls one. I think it either deflects or Bart gets a fingertip there. Gleeson comes in for Hyam. So if you're playing fantasy football, Hyam gets a clean sheet and a win there on 83 minutes. Lolly beats Ward, feeds Brereton. He's in, and you know in football matches, Dave, where it's 1-0 and they get this last chance, and Carter Vickers slides in and cuts out. You think that's it? They're not gonna.
That's it.
They're not
Game
gonna
over.
score
Shut up,
today. But Dave, on 87 minutes, what happens?
Oh, it's the third away game on the trot now, isn't it? A penalty conceded again. Another. You got to say, some quite nice play on the left. Quick throw by Osborne to Colback. Osborne, good ball inside to Lolly, and this is quite good play. Sort of Lolly, very left-footed, is on his and he outside of his left foot, little disguise pass, and and this is the inexperience of perhaps the right wing back of Ward. He perhaps lets Brereton gets a run at him, and it's the same as last week. Is that there is contact, and Brereton can go down. Gives an excuse, Brereton goes down. Ref gives one again.
Covering him, Dave. Spence is too.
No, he's going to step across, isn't he? Again, soft, but I've just written again category seen them given. And a good effort by Bart, good penalty posting, and he's never going to save it. He goes right way, but just can't get there.
And Dave, Brereton, they haven't scored for 6 games, and Brereton proper sprung up, took the ball well all the Ipswich Road, stuck it down, and he was like, "No, everyone, go away." Which I kind of admired, considering they haven't scored for so long.
If I have got one criticism, re-look at that on the Sky on YouTube. Re-look at that. The ball's not on the spot when he takes a penalty, but hey, you know.
Oh really? Does it have to be Does it have to be overhanging like the corners, or does it have to be bang
this
on?
is not even. This don't even look close. You know,
really?
This isn't.
No,
I'm sure for the penalty it has to be on the spot. I don't think it's like a corner. Again, I'm not sure of that rule, but this looks obviously
law.
Like
Remember,
it's not on the spot.
We even get corrected for calling them rules, not laws, don't we?
Oh, laws, yeah.
So Bridcut has a curler. Bart's going to save it. And then, 95th minute again. Same as Norwich and Sheffield Wednesday, hey? And what you don't see on the TV, Dave, is it's just a big boot down the pitch and Velios is standing offside, right? Knudsen sticks his arm up to appeal and then heads it, and the line gets completely confused by that. There's no officiating mistake, because you only flag if the guy becomes active, and he's not. They get confused, and then the whole thing is then our favourite term, shitstorm after that. But you take it away.
Yeah, Brereton does well. He picks a ball up, drifts over to the edge of the box, and I think when you see it, first of all, you think, he's overhit that cross, but so I think does Grant Ward think he's overhit it, because it drops over Grant Ward's shoulder. Great technique, great play from Lolly, just stretches on the volley. I've been wanting to say that all season. And again, it's close in from the angle, probably about 5 yards out from the angle. But he gets such a good contact. Bart's, no fault there. He gets 2 hands to it, but he's never going to keep that out.
And there you go.
Gutted, mate.
But a very, very different feeling than Norwich or Sheffield Wednesday.
Can you imagine that happening? Well, one thing, it's a couple of things here. One, can you imagine the reaction if Mick had still been? I know we're not supposed to be speaking about it. Allow me this. One, can you imagine the reaction if Mick had still been manager? And two, I hate to say this, probably wouldn't have happened if Mick had been manager.
It's not Mick not being there; it's Luke Chambers not being there.
Yeah, good point, Ben.
Do you know what I mean? Or somebody needed to be.
Yep. Yeah. Good point.
Needed to be marshalling that from the back.
Shame. Shame, but good.
What are your thoughts then, Dave? Let's do first of all, Ken Lock. You said it, 18 months ago or something. I do think there's a player there. I think
there's more than a player there.
Yeah, I think give him a go. Put him in a position, whether it's wing back or full back, and give him a chance. I
like him as wing. I really like him as wing back, and I prefer Knudsen as left centre back. But there you go.
Luke Hyam surprised me again. I thought he played really well.
That, didn't you? He played well. That. Shame. The goal would have gone in. Blimey. It's great. He's playing for his future. These last 3 games now, he's playing for a contract.
If you assume all these guys are going to be ahead of him next season, it's probably a future somewhere else. But
I think so. But fair play to him. Fair play he's a local lad. Fair play. It speaks volumes of his speaks volumes of his attitude. And again, he's obviously someone that's come through the academy, so again knows Klug very well.
And is Morris getting picked, waved to Sears goodbye?
No, I mean at this stage I don't think so. No, he's going to give him it's a nothing game yesterday. He's going to give him a go, isn't he? I don't necessarily think that. Looking at it with Falami as well, you've perhaps got to think that it might be writing on the wall. Do we know about his? He's not out of contract? Has he got another season?
I think he's got longer. But if you need 4 forwards and you've got Garner, Waghorn, and you just say right, Falami. Especially if you've got a tight owner, Falami and Morris are going to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you think so. And from sort of, I hate to say it, from Freddie's point of view, it might be a good time for him to move on and re-find his mojo, as they say.
What would you do now with Ward? Because he's got a load of assets there that could make him a very good wing back. When you hear him talk about it, it doesn't overly look like he wants to do it.
He said that.
He scores a goal in his first game, but as you pointed out, concedes a penalty, gets wrong side, and possibly lets his man go. But do you now persevere and say, no, you can learn this position, else you're on the bench?
Ben, don't forget, Klug probably knows his attributes more than anybody else because he worked with him at Tottenham.
Yes,
this is it. And again, I think he came out and said in his post-match last night that he'd played Grant Ward there in the Spurs academy, and he said he absolutely hated it. But he, personally, Klug, thinks he's got the attributes to play there. And he is very similar. Don't you think he's a very, very similar player to Carlos Edwards, I think. Extremely
similar.
How
about your superior knowledge on that? I don't know too much.
Even runs the same. Sorry, Dave, Edwards was during your hiatus, wasn't it?
Yeah,
your touring.
Is this
spinal tap years?
Are we not overthinking this? Is this not a case of that Ward, it seems quite clear, put him at right midfield in a 4 and tell him go up to the fullback, stand him up, knock it to the side of him and cross it, and just do that all game. That's your job.
I personally, I would absolutely,
Rather than
you saw what he did, all right, albeit against a tiring and poor Friars on Tuesday evening. I mean, he was outstanding, wasn't he? Just taking him on for fun.
Always get if you could got Garner back up front, he'll always put in cross. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with Ward.
I like him. I think he's a good player, and a player that can only improve. I think. And another player, Ben, who perhaps just was, I don't know, stifled, let's say, by our former manager.
Let's go for some tweets, Dave. This is Beaconbauer. National press reporting Evans standing out Steven Gerrard via third parties. I'm not sure that's the new direction required as no manager experience other than LFCU's. Thoughts from you guys quickly, Dave?
He can still play. Could he still play in the Championship? I'm sure he's only 37.
Hey, I think Glenn Whelan. Yeah, he probably
I think that would be okay. That would be another keen type headline management appointment, wouldn't it? No, I don't see that. I think he's been groomed for Liverpool manager one day, isn't he? Oh, but whether at some point that it's a Liverpool way, it's a Liverpool dynasty. We've spoken about this before. The whole Shankly, Paisley, Fagan, Evans dynasty sort of thing, and I can see that.
I will restate my view. I am behind whoever they hire, and whoever they hire, you don't. No one knows. Steven Gerrard could be the greatest manager in football history. You don't know until he. Who knows? Who knows? So
exactly, could be another Dalglish.
Dave, Lord Patrick Lewis, who apparently is going to be making an appearance at Reading, says, "Will any new manager make a difference under the current regime?"
Good on, Pat.
Pat will be taking all your questions at Reading. Apparently,
at Reading. Yeah, no. Well, Ben, you would think if it's a manager of any sort of standing, which you'd hope it would be, the manager himself is going to make certain demands and want certain assurances with regard to funds. So,
especially if they have as big a fame as Steven Gerrard has. Yeah.
So, something's got to change. I think you're right. Something has got to change. But any manager coming would surely want those assurances first.
And Pat's going to do an open mic session in a pub in London before.
That isn't true, mate.
We're going to record.
That isn't true.
Behind the boardroom, we're going to call it, with Pat Lewis. Yeah. Right, this is Barry. He's also asking about Stevie Gerrard. I think we covered that. Hi, Barry. Slower ball. We'll see some youngsters these last few games forced by injury list, although one would hope Klug and Nash would support their young charges. Hyam seems to realise he's got to make an impact. His future depends on that. Whether that or elsewhere, agree with that. Positives equals Ben's sweaters.
Oh yeah, you've really pulled a lot out of the wardrobe recently. What did you had a Kiss one on yesterday, didn't you?
I love Kiss, though, don't I? Yeah, I love.
Oh, you love him, yeah. You ought to see Ben when he has a full Gene Simmons going on.
I've never done that. I'd love to do that, actually.
I think you ought to do the last pod of the season, full Gene Simmons.
You go to Reading as Paul Stanley, and I'll go as Gene Simmons. Yeah?
I don't even know who Paul Stanley is.
He's the Star Child, the other singer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Simo,
I won't.
Heard a lot of Gerrard rumours today. Do you think that would be a good option for Town or just another Keane? I think we've covered that. Mullet, who I had the pleasure of seeing before the game, and the legendary Harry from Bath as well.
Did you meet Harry?
Absorbed the knowledge. Yeah, absorbed it.
I see Harry. Hopefully Harry's going to be at Reading. Where did you all meet up yesterday then?
In the Notts County ground, which seems a bit odd. And get this for a conversation, right? I'm wearing a pink Kiss jumper, and I'd look very feminine, right? I go up to the bouncer. Are you Ipswich? Yeah. Show us your ticket. I'm sitting in the bloody homestand, aren't I? He's like, well, I am Ipswich, but I'm sitting in the homestand. He went, well, you can't come in here then. And I went, I can tell you the entire first team and all their results from this whole season. Don't care. I went, mate, do I look like I'm going to start a fight? And he points to his bouncer partner and he says,
love it.
He says, you see this guy? You cause any trouble, that's what's going to be dealing with you.
Seriously?
I was genuinely like,
I love it.
I'm okay. See ya. All these people in here, they're my friends. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So we saw all them.
Great. Was GB up there again? GB up?
Didn't see him. No, didn't see him.
Okay. Yeah.
Ken Lock. This is Mullet. So Ken Lock was man of the match for me, and it's clear there is a much better crop of youth coming through. However, we're still waiting for things to change, and this will have to be a long-term project. We have the basis of overachieving again, but have to tread very carefully with disappointment. This is Jonathan. Whoever is appointed, there are three key things for a successful ITFC. One, a manager who communicates his tactical approach and long-term aims to the fans. This will garner extra patience. Two, a policy of playing our under-23s ahead of bringing in young loan players so our players developed. And interesting that Ian Milne said there is a championship club who stopped having loans. And I hope that was him saying that might be what we do, because I think that'd be good fun. That. Three, a brand of football played across all ITFC's teams to encourage a smoother route for the academy.
Yeah,
we can talk about that. Mark as well, who's a long-time listener who I met yesterday. Dave Mark Hasselholt.
Hasselholt, yeah.
Even after one session with the players, could tell Klug had imprinted his passing style on the team to an extent. Was selfless of him to leave the in-game coaching to Nash and Hogg. Be good to see at least one of those part of the first team set up under the next manager if possible. This is Joe. Did you agree with what seemed a clear policy to only play those contracted to next season from the start? Probably true,
apparently, apparently Selena wasn't in the squad because there was talk about that, but he had some sort of virus or something according to Klug.
So yeah, only really Carter Vickers in there and we know he had to play. Chris Rand, I want to see the club focused on restoring the joy to the fan experience. Big catching up job to do. Radical initiatives needed to reconnect younger fan base in particular. Football a major part of this, but a lot for the marketing and media staff to do, regardless of manager choice.
On that point, Ben, did I read a tweet somewhere that Town for the Reading game are doing, is it under 19s for £1 or something? Did I see that? Someone tweet that? Oh my God, that's completely wrong.
What, the away game?
The Villa game. The Villa home game coming up.
I hope so.
I think, on that point that was just made, I thought I saw that. I might have read that wrong, though.
Yeah, great stuff. Jules, all positives yesterday. Kenlock had a solid game. Nyden was positive, and Morris had a chance. I agree with all of that. My question would be, would you two rather see investment in our academy and bring in a manager on a 5-year plan and invest in 2 pitches, or bring in journeyman? I think I know what your answer is going to be to that, Dave.
Yeah, the former. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
This is Tim. Ben, your post-match review seemed so jolly. It seemed the result didn't matter. Did it feel that way? Has a cloud lifted over the club? Keep enjoying, Tim. Yes, The context of my post-match review was totally different than normal. Go ahead, Dave.
I thought that, Ben. The whole, I know you're not that close to it, but the whole tension is, that whole burden has just gone now, isn't it? It's all let's move on.
It'll be different in August, but we'll see here. Tig, positives were a clear instruction to pass the ball. It took little time. It took time to settle, and we'll need a longer to break some of the bad habits. Only one aimless long ball out of defence was refreshing. Neither neat and tidy. Spence inconsistent. Nice to meet at Naked Footy. So GB has been hobnobbing. This is Ben Dawkins of the rules. I met Ben Dawkins, the guy who changed the rules to the Two Little Ducks as well. Hi, Ben.
Yeah.
Positives, chance to try some young players from the start and different ideas without fear of relegation or expectation. That's the key, isn't it? When those two things are off the table, the context is it. Would love to hear your thoughts on this morning's rumours of Gerrard or Lampard. To be honest, my thing is the same on whoever gets linked. I'm behind whoever gets the job. Dave, Lampard?
Well, yeah, I think Lampard would certainly be championed by the one they call Harry, who I think
he's one of
what we understand is
football
true
friends.
That Evans is football friend. So we'll see.
I would just say to all Ipswich fans, be open-minded. Jackie Milburn was an amazing football player, wasn't he?
Jackie. Yeah.
Describe his management, Dave.
Didn't quite work out.
Didn't quite work out. Kenny Dalglish was an amazing footballer and an amazing manager. Yeah,
he was. There's been a lot of amazing players that it hasn't worked for, though. But yeah,
we just have to be open-minded. Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard could go on to be either the best or the worst. Man, they both seem quite smart.
I said, Ben, as I said to you before, I still think Glenn Hoddle's wasted as a football pundit. Anyway,
you got some stick for that on Twitter, didn't you? Dave, it's congratulations to the Wolves of Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've done it. They're promoted to the Premier League.
Yeah, you said it, didn't you? You said it right from the get-go. Really, you were impressed. I mean, they've got reap what you sow. They've spent the money, they've spent the dough, they've got the players in, and it's
that was good. Reap what you've sowed. They've spent the money, they've spent the dough.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Eminem.
That's almost a rap. Exactly. Yeah, they were head and shoulders pretty much above everyone else, weren't they? Really, certain players. We said you said you've seen them enough, and even the game I saw them are just players that just stood out, that just didn't look like championship players.
No,
Bolly
and Neves.
Yeah,
stupid. Yeah.
Good goal, and you got to say, good goalkeeper was a good signing. I know he came from them up the road, but he's done well for them. Whether he should have got in the championship side is another thing, but
pivotal second place. So let me give you the details on this. So Cardiff win at Norwich. Fulham draw 1-1 with a very late goal at home to Brentford. So Cardiff slide back into second place. And the way the fixtures have fallen, so Fulham play at Millwall on Friday night. If they don't win that game, Cardiff then have 2 games before Fulham play again. Having seen Forest, they will beat Forest, and then they're away at Derby on the Tuesday.
Oh, that's Tuesday week, not this. So they'll play Tuesday week.
So Fulham pretty much have to
win
beat Millwall, but it's really swung in Cardiff's favour, Dave. They've got
as now. I mean, I watched that game last night.
It literally was and Reading.
Last kick of the game. That Mopai is incredible. 7th goal off the bench this season, the most of any player in top 4 divisions.
Wow. It's gonna be Cardiff though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sadly, there you go. Well done to the Warnock. Villa are in that horrible spot, Dave. I was at their game against Leeds. We'll talk a bit more about Villa in reference to the game, but they're in that horrible spot where they haven't got anything to play for now for the last 3 games. They're guaranteed playoffs.
They're away. I mean, they're not going to get top 2. Just quickly, can we just go back one step very quickly? I was just saying the only thing we've got to play for this season now is finishing above. And so at the moment, we've got a +5 goal difference. So it's -3. We're -3. They're -8. And they've got Preston away, Leeds at home, Sheffield Wednesday away. So Preston are still going for the playoffs, obviously. So that would be a game. But
and
the other
Alex Neil against Norwich as well.
Alex Neil against Norwich. Nothing really on the other 2.
When you mentioned the goal difference, I was like, so both teams are going to lose all their games. So who's going to
lose by less?
Lose by less. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So sorry, I stole your thunder about Villa. So you were there, 1-0. Yeah, and Villa.
We'll talk about them in the preview.
Okay, the summary.
So the other three down there, Dave. Borough 2, Bristol 1, Sheffield United 1, Millwall 1, Burton 3, Derby 1. So Borough have got 69, Millwall have got 69, Derby have got 68 with the game in hand, which is obviously against Cardiff. So who's gonna make those other positions?
I mean, out of all that, Bristol City are now 11th. I mean, it's really, really bunched up. And just going back to Millwall, what a run they are. It's only Fulham got more points this 2018. Millwall have got 39 points since the turn of the year. Extraordinary.
That's more than Sunderland, isn't it? It's more than all of the bottom three, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. I'm more than Burton. Mate, I mean, Millwall have got the
games,
momentum, haven't they? Well, hard, but they've got the momentum, haven't they? Yeah, they just don't know how to lose. Derby, can they screw it up again? I don't know. You'd think Borough got the players.
Borough
I know
got
Bamford,
Pulis as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Bamford got a nasty injury last night. Although Pulis at the end said that he was fine, and sort of Gallo Sumi said, actually, I thought we played better without him. Typical Pulis. Do you know, Ben? I don't like to call it. I'd say Millwall could not sneak in because they're sixth already, but could stay there because they just got that mentality, haven't they?
Coming up from the rear, Preston are only 3 points off. Probably a bit too much traffic, but 3 points is 3 points.
Still Sheffield United, so
yeah,
Sheffield United have got Birmingham away, Preston at home, Bristol City away. Millwall, Fulham at home. Yeah, Millwall have got some issues. Say a shitter run it. Fulham at home, Borough away, Villa at home.
Oh.
I mean, Villa won't have anything to play with, but Fulham at home.
That's my
Borough
hope for next week, that Villa are going to just start resting guys for.
Whoa, blimey. Yeah, that's a horrible, horrible run in. But the form they're in, Ben, you wouldn't put it past them, would you?
No. So just a few more down here, Dave. Hull lost at home to Wednesday. Wednesday pretty much safe now, so good.
Rare goal for Jordan Rhodes.
Reading 2, Sunderland 2. No good for Sunderland, and Reading really could have done with a win there. So Reading have actually got something to play for when
Sunderland's games are horrible. Sunderland's games are massive. Burton home next. Fulham away, Wolves at home.
They got Sunderland, Burton are gone, Dave. The killer game though, the biggest game, was Barnsley 2, Bolton 2, and what a big goal at the end. Bolton really could have been, I think, 4 points clear. And you know what it's like.
Socks rolled down McBurney, wouldn't it?
We've seen it in the Burley days and in the Joe Royal days when you're playing for the playoffs, and people look at it and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, 3 points back, we can get." It doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? It's invariably the teams that are in there on the last day still make it, don't they?
Find a way, don't they? As we know, find a way. Yeah.
So it's looking like Sunderland and Burton definitely. And Barnsley have got that game in hand. It's against Forest, so it is. Forest weren't great. Yeah.
It's winnable, isn't it? Yeah. Burton got Burton. Got it. Yeah.
Sunderland are gone.
Yeah, you think they're gone. Yeah.
Let's go to the Renegade Statman, Dave. I haven't done my extrapolation today. I've just realised. There we go. Who cares?
Happy birthday for yesterday, Stat.
Happy birthday, Statman. You're going to like this one. Easy, lads. The Stat Machine has had a tough week with all that's been occurring. So today I've gone easy on it and taken a sideways look at ITFC. This says a lot about our WhatsApp group, Dave. Do you recall, Ben and Dave, that on Tuesday night we were wondering if Barry Cotter was the first Barry to play for Town? That is the type of conversation we have. Well, he is.
He hasn't found one. Oh, good.
In fact, the Christian name Barry is the 268th different first name to be commonly used by a Town player.
What?
Of these 268 first names, there have been 167 first names used by only one player, like Barry Cotter. So here's a quick whistle-stop tour, A to Z, without Q, X, and Y, some of those first names. So, Dave, you've got to guess the surname. Okay?
All right. Yeah.
Adrian.
Paz.
Ballint.
Basna.
Callum.
Connolly.
Dale.
Roberts.
Earl.
John.
Gene, yeah. Fabian.
Gene. Wilderness. Ledge.
Gareth. Macaulay.
Oh, Macaulay.
Herbie.
Hancock.
Herbie Hancock's a piano player.
Yes, I know he was. Herbie.
Yeah, apparently there's been only one Herbie.
Herbie Hyde. No, he's a boxer. Don't know.
Ibrahima.
Osonko.
Jamie, pronounced Jaime.
Peters.
Kelvin.
Davis.
I didn't get that one. Sorry. Larry.
Larry Carberry.
Marco.
Van Basten. Marco Holster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't got the answers, by the way. Nabil.
Oh yeah, Nabil.
Abidallah.
Abidallah, yeah.
I once found myself in in a those flats next to Portman Road. I don't know what they've been converted to.
What Churchman? What used to be the Churchman
with
factory,
Nabil Abidallah drinking when I was a young man. Yeah.
Okay.
Owen.
Garvin.
Pablo.
Yeah. Go on. Don't answer that. Yeah.
Raphael.
Raphael came from Arsenal. Oh, not Burke. Raphael. Something like Blake or oh man, now it's gone.
Samasi.
Abu. I do know Raphael, but I can't really think. Go on.
Tamas.
Priskin.
Valise. Good luck.
Similakoski.
Well done. Wayne.
Brown.
Zeke.
Who? Oh, Fried.
Yeah, we saw him. Great stuff, Stat. Love that. And Stat says he's looking forward to Villa next week. He's a changed man. I don't know what it is. It must be because I've plugged the USB in the right-hand side.
He's talking about season tickets. I don't think he's quite persuaded his kids. He's not persuaded his kids back yet, but he's working on them.
Stat juniors. How you feeling about the Nasdaq, Dave? How are your stocks and shares?
Stock market's been a bit lately. Peak, mate. All I can say, it peaked in January, and it's been went below 7,000 about 3 weeks ago. But I think it's sort of jumped a bit since then. But yeah, not what it was, mate. Not what it was.
Didn't know what any of that.
And all this bloody Syrian stuff, bad feeling. Oh, it's not gonna.
Oh, dear.
It's not gonna be good news.
So James Stack puts 2 bets on for us per week. One on Ipswich, one on the Championship. The figure in the Forest game, Dave, was 2.5 goals. Were we looking for over or under?
Under.
You'd think, but he went over. So the Nasdaq goes up in the 95th minute there. And he had a treble, Dave. Hull at Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh no.
Ipswich to beat Forest.
Oh no. Oh no.
And he completes the hat-trick. Fulham to beat Brentford.
Oh no.
So the Nasdaq is kind of in the middle there. I think one covered the other. Dave, have you got 2 little ducks for me? I
have, mate. I have. I think you might. And I haven't got the plug again, so we'll do the plug at the end. I've forgotten the plug.
Screw the plug. We'll just do it straight off.
Screw the plug. So 2 little ducks. Think you will enjoy it. It's going back. So
should I just explain the rules?
You explain the rules.
So the rules are: Dave's going to give me a game. I've got to name as many of the 22 starting players as possible. If I get one wrong, that's it. That's my goose. I can name a golden goose. So if I'm not sure about a player, I do get one gimme. And if I pick a huge substitute, I get away with that. Dave, what's the game?
Okay, don't get excited. It's been 40 years since Ipswich Town won the FA Cup. I'm not going back 40 years. I'm not going back 30 years. halfway to the 10th of May, 1998.
Oh, I'm going to suck at this.
Ipswich Town versus Charlton Athletic, Portman Road. Bright sunny day. Playoffs under George. Our second year in the playoffs. Beaten the previous year by Sheffield United, and we are playing Charlton Athletic.
So home leg.
Road. Home leg. 2 days after my youngest son Kieran was born, and I was allowed to go to the game. I know. Mrs. D still in hospital. She stayed in hospital like 3 or 4 days then. Still in hospital. Yeah, you're okay. Go to the game.
Okay.
There you go, mate. So I remember it well. Shoot.
Jamie Clapham.
Correct. Oh, just keep going till.
Keith Brown. I haven't messed up already, have I?
Oh, he was a used sub.
Oh, thank God for that. So that doesn't count as one, but I'm still
No,
up.
no, he was a used.
Okay, Sasa Ilic.
He was good for a few seasons, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah, go on, I'll keep going.
Danny Mills.
Ooh, horrible, Danny. Horrible.
Matt Holland.
Never missed.
Mark Bright.
Going well.
I'm not saying it. I'm just going to say the words Eddie Yowds and try and gauge your reaction. He's not reacted at all.
Eddie Yowds.
Eddie Yowds.
Yep. I'd forgotten about that. I wouldn't have got that at all. Must admit, I was quite pleasantly surprised to see Eddie there.
David Johnson.
I'll give you a little clue. Think of his second game as well. Maybe you wouldn't want to.
Did I say David Johnson?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the second game, and I'm saying Sean Newton.
Yeah, gave you that, didn't I? Gave you that.
Didn't you? Mark Kinsella.
Good player.
Yeah?
This is very good, Ben.
Thanks, man. So...
Not sure if you'll beat my total from last year.
No, you got 20, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow. So I assume Scowcroft would have played up front with Johnson.
He was I'll give you that. He was a used sub.
A used sub. So who played up front with Johnson then?
98.
98. Oh. Alex Matthew. Alex Matthew.
Canary Crusher.
10.
Can I do a Gary Neville? Oh, extraordinary!
So
go on.
Bobby Petter.
I love him in full flow now, wouldn't you, Bobby? Oh. Glided, didn't he?
I'm thinking.
We've got light on defenders here so far, Ben.
Oh, have I? So if Clapham was left back, was Tarico right back, or had he gone by then? Oh, I don't know. I assume Mick Stockwell was around somewhere. I don't know whether he would have played. Centre backs, Venus would have been there. Oh. Have I said Richard Wright?
No.
Richard Wright. Yes.
No, it's Keith Brandt. No, he wasn't.
Yeah. So that's 11.
That's good, man.
Clive Mendonca.
Oh, yeah, this is the point you think of the final as well. That was a good playoff final, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Who played... So Keith Brown didn't start. So who played centre midfield with Mark Kinsella? Oh.
I always thought Keith Brown was a centre back. No? Probably not. I don't know.
I'm going to play my golden goose. John Robinson.
Good play of your golden goose.
No. Unused sub?
No. I assume so. I've only written the used subs down.
Okay, Mauricio Tarico.
Yeah. Very good.
How many have I got?
16.
Wow.
You could beat the record here. You need a bit of luck, but you could beat the record.
Richard Rufus.
Yeah.
17. So I've got virtually the whole Charlton team, and I haven't got the Ipswich team.
Charlton team, you've done very well. Well, you're missing 2 used subs, but you're only missing 3 of the Charlton teams. Very good.
Kieran Dyer.
Yeah. Bloody hell, you can't beat 20. You could actually, because it's more subs.
Centre backs then. Jason Cundy. Who did Venus was at Sedgley? He came in. Jason Cundy. Yeah, he's there. How many have I got left?
There you go, incredible. You only got 2 Ipswich left.
2 Ipswich.
3 and some subs, but well, 1. Well, go on.
So I've said Wright, Clapham, Cundy. So I'm missing one centre back.
Mm-hmm.
Tarico. I've got the whole midfield, didn't I? Or who played right midfield? Is that going to be? Is that going to be Stockwell? Is it? Mick Stockwell.
This is good.
Yeah. Is he start? He started, did he? So who's the other bloody centre back? Cundy and.
Oh, you want this one to win? You want this one for 21? No, you don't,
really?
Do you? Hang on, 1, 2. But in my defence, obviously the one when last
Mark
week
Bowen.
there was in my defence there was only 2 subs, one sub each.
Mark Bowen.
Yes.
So I'm just missing.
Ridiculous.
Have I got the whole
really
Charlton
ridiculous.
team? Have I got the whole Charlton team?
2 missing.
Wow.
Well, you got Brown as a sub, haven't you? I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. You've done so well. Think of the goal at Portman Road.
Someone went down the left and Chris Powell crossed it.
Are you saying Chris Powell? Oh no, that's not fair. Yeah, oh no, you keep going. You know, I'm not taking Chris Powell.
Well, because it's wrong.
I wouldn't have got this. I wouldn't have got this. one you've got left. I would have got because I remember something that happened in the game.
Okay, I'm not going to get any more. So what did I
get?
You
got one. Let's have another go. You've got one more. You're missing one more for Ipswich, who started.
Mark Venus.
Correct.
Yes.
Fucking hell. You're not going to get any more?
What position am I missing for Charlton?
A winger and
I said John Robinson, did I?
Yeah, it's not him. A winger and a gnarly.
John Solarco.
No. Winger and a gnarly midfielder.
John Robinson. I said, didn't I? I said Kinsella, didn't I?
Yeah.
A gnarly midfielder.
Yeah.
Steve Brown.
No, you said him.
I said Keith Brown.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Go on.
I wish you go Steve Brown. Keith Brown. I might have got you Brown, but I'll give you
dark-haired centre forward.
I'll give you Brown. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I might have actually said the wrong Brown there, but hey, look, you said Brown, so I'll give it to you. Don't worry, because you did brilliant. Keith Jones.
Oh, that was who I meant when I said Keith Brown. Sorry.
Yeah,
Keith Jones.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Keith Jones.
Yeah.
He was the one that set up the.
So he would have played wide left, wouldn't he?
And I think Neil Heaney, he was the one that got in a fracas with Clapham.
Never would have got that all day. Yeah, never would have got that. So
what
did I get?
So the only one you missed out of Ipswich was Gus Ullenbeek, who was a used sub. And for Charlton, I actually know this guy's brother. He works in London. Anthony Barnes.
Never gonna get
that. Steve Jones.
Yeah, Steve. Right, yeah.
Sex Pistol bassist, wasn't
he? Guitarist.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Sorry, we've gone really long.
That was a good one. I weren't sure. I thought you'd do well on that. That was your era, wasn't it?
I've got to be in Reading in an hour and 25 minutes. This isn't going to end well, is
it? Okay, just quickly. Villa at home next week.
Yeah, so I saw Villa. I still believe that they're very functional and they have lots of expensive players. John Terry wasn't there and Bjarnason, the midfielder, wasn't there. Dave, Jack Grealish is a player. He reminded me.
I always like Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
What amazed me yesterday or the weekend about, do you see their bench? Their bench included Hogan, Adoma, Lansbury, Hourihane.
Yeah. Are they going to start just resting people now, though? Ready for...
I think they would. I'd assume, was Terry a resting job there?
No, he hurt himself at Norwich, didn't he?
Oh.
Yeah, he's
I
out.
don't know. I can't remember that. Is he out for the playoffs?
No, he's not out for the playoffs.
Okay.
But hopefully they'll... Well, it'd be nice to see him, but...
I mean, they're 4 points off, so they're 4 points off Cardiff. Something drastic's got to happen for them to get up automatic now. Well, it's just difficult to be. How was Snodgrass? Much of an influence because he has been.
It's not Snodgrass. It's Snodgrass and El Mohammadi together. That's the issue. But Snodgrass takes all the set plays and whatnot.
Where did Jednek play at the back?
Played centre half. He's not a centre back, but he's powerful. And it was funny because Leeds had Roof on, who's really pacey, and Jednak was like deep. And then they put that Lasoga on, and Jednak was like, okay. easy peasy. I'm going to defend 10 yards further forward and just beat the crap out of him.
Not quite so. Not quite so. Not quite such a great move. I'm looking forward to that. Ben should be good. Like I think, I'm sure I read somewhere they're doing this ticket promotion is aimed at younger, under 19s. I might have got that wrong, but that'd be great if it is. And Villa are going to bring a load up. Villa are going to bring 1,500, aren't they? Plus,
big
probably.
Club, man, big club. But Dave, I was looking at it when they come out. I thought they're playing 4-4-2, and then lo and behold, Grabban goes to the left wing, and Grealish can play where he likes. So you're gonna enjoy him.
I always enjoy. He's a good player in his unfeasibly tight shorts. And he's another one.
Lovely balance.
3/4 socks as well. Legs like trees.
But great balance, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's finally. I think he was a bad boy when I think he's finally. The penny with him has finally dropped, hasn't it?
Yes. Sorry, Dave. We've gone absolutely.
You've got to go, mate. You've got people.
I've got to go.
To.
Should we do some?
Cheers, mate.
Should we do some plugs, whatever, at Blue Monday ITFC?
Yeah, that's where we are. You find all the time. We'll be there. And might perhaps try and catch up Saturday for perhaps quickly before the game if you're down. We will be down. Yeah, best in fan zone, and then we must try and make arrangements for Reading. I'm not sure how that's all going to pan out, but look, we'll see.
Should we say to listeners that we'll be in the fan zone then prior to
next week? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, mate.
Right, I'm going to press
Take care. Bye.
Dave.
Good week.